The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Here's what they're saying about Tuesday's game up in Coventry.
Portsmouth pose arguably the biggest threat to Coventry City's unbeaten start to the campaign, as the South Coast club gun for their third consecutive championship scalp on Tuesday night. Pompey toppled a previously undefeated Middlesbrough off the table's summit in the final fixture before the international break, a result that ensured the Sky Blues secured top spot following a thumping 5-0 win at Sheffield Wednesday. And given the Blues' 4-1 Fratton Park victory over Coventry last December, confidence will be high as they prepare to inflict another upset and be the first team to dent Frank Lampard's side's early season momentum. That was probably one of the best 45 minutes of the season, Mourinho told the press after Saturday's 1-1 draw at the King Power Stadium. I thought we were superb objectively and the circumstances as well, coming away to such a good side and going a goal down at half-time. We pressed really well, when we won the ball back we showed much more quality, and we've come away knowing that maybe we could have put the ball into the back of the net once more, and it could have been a different result. Nothing revolutionary was said at half-time, just that we needed to have a bit more belief and confidence off the ball and on the ball as well. It didn't feel to me at half-time like Leicester were relentlessly playing through us. They are a really good side, with two unbelievable wingers, who we dealt with pretty well throughout the game. So my point was, look lads, if Leicester do that and play through us I can live with it, but, in those small moments, let's have much more quality on the turnover, and let's be as brave as we have been in the last 10 minutes of the first half out of possession. Then there will be chances for us, and obviously there were. I just asked the lads to show the care and quality I see in training every day. I wouldn't ask them to do anything they can't do. The ball broke down too many times when we did win it back and didn't quite show those touches. We know we have the quality, John Swift has a huge amount of quality, we just want to see a bit more of it. I'm sure that's the case for every player we've got on the pitch. We all know how good they can be, let's see a bit more of that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, just on that last point about John Swift, John Mourinho has been very quick to step in and admonish some people who are saying that John Swift is not producing the goods. He's been played out of position in his first few games for Pompey, and he's only just beginning to find his feet in his new and preferred position, which is more forward than back than defence-minded. So that's a good point, well made by John Mourinho. It's interesting that Coventry are taking us very, very seriously indeed. That, again, is good reinforcement for our confidence and our self-belief and our self-image. The fact that the team that at the moment is running away with the championship and looking as though they'll give some of the big boys a bit of a scare if they do get to the Premier League, and they certainly look as though they're going to, and they are scared of us. So again, it's another benchmark for the Pompey of their second season in the championship. Well done, us. The football news agency The 72, who specialise in leagues and clubs outside of the Premier League, like to predict the outcome of Pompey's games, and their two main football experts have had a go at predicting Pompey versus Coventry.
James Ray. Coventry City should know they might be in for a tough game here. They have all the momentum in the world behind them, but Fratton Park is always a tough place to go. Portsmouth are a well-drilled side under John Mourinho and continue to consolidate their standing as a solid championship side. They will be determined to upset the odds and claim a result here, and their decent defensive record could help them do so. However, the Sky Blues just look like a different beast at the moment. They're playing with such confidence, both home and away. I think we could get a close game, but with Lampard's men keeping it so tight at the back, I'm not sure if Pompey have the clinical instinct in the final third to snatch something. I'll go for a 1-0 away win. Prediction: Portsmouth 0, Coventry City 1.
Harry Mail. Portsmouth have picked up a couple of useful results recently. Pompey will fancy their chances about getting something on Tuesday. John Mourinho's side beat Middlesbrough before the international break. They backed that up with a useful 1-1 draw at Leicester City last time out, so can compete with the best teams in the league. Coventry City are flying at the moment though and will take some stopping. They are scoring goals for fun. Frank Lampard's side are yet to lose in the league and are top for a reason. Although it will be a close one, I think the visitors will keep their form going at Fratton Park. Prediction: Portsmouth 1, Coventry City 2.
Pompey fans have been waiting such a long time to hear the following words spoken by a neutral expert: that Pompey can compete with the best teams in the league. And they're saying it about a Pompey that's in the Championship, can compete with the best teams in the league. And the best teams in the league are the ones that, maybe not this season, but soon, go up and play in the best league in the world. And that's how close we are. We're beginning to edge ourselves closer and closer to that spectacular company, to that promised land, that Ambrosia Fields, which is the Premier League. And we're getting there. We're actually getting there a little bit quicker than even the optimists, such as most of us at Pompey Sound, hoped or expected, which, of course, is good news because, the American ethos is I want it now. Although it has to be said that the Eisners have been particularly impressive in, several ways, but their patience for one. And they are being patient about it because they know where they're going and they want to get there on solid ground, and we're heading in that direction. So let's hope those experts are wrong in their predictions, but they are right when they say that Pompey can compete with the best teams in the league. Have a listen to what social media in and around the Bristol area, the Bristol City area, are saying about, I'm not going to say, do you remember Atkinson? Of course you do. We wanted him. We wanted to keep him, but we couldn't. But look how he's come on in the eyes of the Bristol fans.
At Robbie Skeets, injured for 2 years, went on loan. It could have ended for him with us. But wow, Rob Atkinson deserves all the credit, all the praise. When people say, I'll come back stronger, there's no better example. Professional to a T, at the Exile Drobin. Clearly enjoyed yesterday. Top performance, determined, and celebrating at the end. Very glad he stayed, because he really wasn't going to be. At Crobig. Robert Atkinson, my word, has to be in the conversation for one of the best CBs in the league. The guy is unreal. At Plod 1956. Rob must have derived a lot of personal satisfaction considering last season. At the Kaiser BCFC, there's a reason Big Rob Atkinson led the celebrations at the end. At Alan Feeney, such a bonus having a fit and firing Rob back in the engine room. Show me a club with 4 better CBs than City. At Jay Saunders, Rolls-Royce. At Jordan O'Brien, one of the best things about Manning jumping ship has been the revival of Atkinson getting back to his best. It's genuinely been like a new signing. At Weeksy 1984. Said it before, this lad would be my captain. He speaks so well and loves playing for City. To think we almost let him go. At Claire Robert 01. Excellent yesterday. Made a team of the day too.
Now then, this is a lad that we wanted to keep. Everybody wanted to keep him, but he was under contract. I think he had another year to go at Bristol City, didn't he? When the season ended with him a bit of a Fratton Park hero. And looking as though somebody that we could put our hands in our pockets and perhaps bring in, pay a bit of money to bring in. As it is, we've managed to find ourselves flush with centre backs, and I would take it up with the City fan who says, Alan Feeney says, show me a club with 4 better centre backs than City. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry, I could. And you and I, dear listener, know exactly who I'm talking about, because we are flush for centre-backs, and they're pretty darn good. The replacement, if that's what Shaughnessy is for Atkinson, is 5-star. If Atkinson's currently playing 5-star, then so Shaughnessy's a 5-star, but so is Knight a 5-star, and we've got plenty of backup. So we are sad that we didn't keep him, but at the same time we benefit enormously because our cover is superb and our reputation, the club's reputation as a club where you can lend Pompey a player and that player will come back better than before. Now this is something, isn't it? There were times when we borrowed players and we just couldn't get a tune out of them. And that can still happen, as Messino says, very realistically. You just never know quite what you're going to get until the player is in the building and out on your grass. But we knew with Atkinson that this was just the kind of centre half we needed, a perfect partner for a footballing centre back, if I can describe him like that, such as Regan Paul. And he's come on. He's come on enormously. The fans are more or less saying the best way that we at Bristol can get the best out of some of our players who might not be expressing themselves as well as they could is to lend them to Portsmouth. And we haven't done borrowing players. We will go on borrowing players. And the more we can say on the phone, especially to the big boys, the Spurs of this world, we will send you back a much better player than the player that you send us. And that counts for everything with the lending club, doesn't it? OK, so somebody shares the wages of the player. We'll never know exactly what those deals are, how much of Yang's wages are being paid by Pompey, and how much are paid by Spurs. We'll never know, and quite rightly too. It's between them and the tax inspector. But they will come back a better player. Almost always. Sometimes it doesn't work. I wouldn't want to play poker with John Messino because he knows how and when to take a risk and win.
Joe MORRELL has decided to retire from professional football at just 28 years old. MORRELL spent 3 years with Portsmouth, joining them in 2021 and leaving in 2024 after his contract ended. Since then, he has been without a club, struggling to recover from a knee injury he suffered in the winter of 2024. Unfortunately, a setback required him to undergo a second surgery, delaying his return to the field. Despite his efforts to make a comeback, including a training stint with Plymouth Argyle in August, the club chose not to sign him, leaving him on the sidelines. Now, MORRELL has chosen to retire from the sport. He shared the news on Instagram, posting a heartfelt message explaining his decision and expressing gratitude to everyone who supported him throughout his career. He wrote, "After almost 2 years of rehab trying to get my body back to a place where I could train, play and compete professionally, I've had to accept that I can no longer do this." Reflecting on his difficult journey, he added, "These past 21 months have been incredibly challenging, filled with hope, tears and dark times. But I'm at peace with the fact that I'll never play again." Although his playing days are over, MORRELL is looking forward to the next chapter. He has completed his UEFA A and Elite Youth diplomas over the past year, preparing himself for a future in coaching.
Dark days. So sad when anybody in football has to retire, even if it's simply because, they're 43. It's still sad. It hits them hard. It must do. I've spoken to a number of ex-pros and this has come into the conversation and they all say exactly the same thing. You just long to lace up your boots again and again and you want to keep doing it. And sometimes they can't give up the game. They go on and play for their pub team. There was a team over Windsor Way which had a 50-something-year-old, I think Peter Osgood it may have been, a legendary Chelsea centre-forward. Bit thick around the middle than he was when he was in his prime, but he turned out and by all accounts, he shone. He was obvious what he once was and wished he still is. That's the thing. And that's why your heart goes out to Joe MORRELL. And I think particularly because he did seem at times, if you can picture the guy I'm talking about, there wasn't a lot of him, but he made his presence felt. He played with his heart on his sleeve. He had a big heart. He has a big heart. I think he was an emotional footballer. I mean, how many times was he sent off? And had the mickey taken out of him by opposing midfield players on account of the fact that he was only 5'5", 5'6", something like that. But he was acting as if he was, the local bouncer on the door. He was acting as though he was bigger than he was. And that led him vulnerable to all sorts of jibes and mickey takes and things, which he had to deal with, and he dealt with it pretty well, except, as I say, he did get sent off too often, and sometimes it cost us. But there was something endearing, and always will be, about a player in the blue shirt who is putting it about and who is punching above his weight. There's the phrase. Finally got there. Joe MORRELL. Thank you, Joe. We wish you well. You've always punched above your weight. Good man. Bye-bye. Yang, Yang will tear you apart again. Yang, Yang will tear you apart again.